Okay, hey everyone, we are live again with a WIN member, a special live here today because we are introducing our WIN members through and throughout the rest of this year, just so you guys can get to know more about who is a part of our organization, all the amazing things that they've been doing and they've been prospering and winning in all year long. And also, we have some amazing things coming up next year, which, of course, if you guys haven't been, in tune with it, you haven't heard of the Women Empowering Generations Conference. That thing is banging. And we have David, who is our WIN member, as well as a speaker for next year's WIN conference. So we're going to be talking to him today about his experience in WIN and also talking about what he is getting ready for leading up to 2026. So, David, you have the stage. First of all, just introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to be here. So my name is David Williams from New York. I have a few monikers, Beloved, Mr. Creative, just to name a few. But I am a serial author. I podcast. I am an autism advocate because I believe that your diagnosis is not your whole being. It's just a part. And that's one of the misconceptions that I've noticed is that when you get diagnosed with something, they make it seem like that's your personality, that's your everything, and it's not. So I am an autism advocate, and then I also started a new venture, which I've been spreading the word about, which is a private jet brokerage. So if anybody is in the space um, that is looking to fly private, I can connect you with the people that allow you to do that. So as of last year, I officially became a private jet broker now, on top of my authorship, my podcasting stuff. So I, in essence, am a man of many crowns, and I wear them like badges of honor, if I'm allowed to. So nice to meet everybody. I'm glad to be here.
I love it. I've seen David in so many spaces. Nice to hey, nice to see you
Hey,
in the
nice.
live. I've been able to see a lot of the things that you've done and win. First of all, I'm going to ask from my own curiosity before I even dive into that. How
Hmm.
did you find win? Like, what was the inspiration to be like, I want to be a part of this group of women that are empowering each other, and I want to be a man who supports them? Like, what made that happen?
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I say that I drunken stumbled into the win. That's what I say, because that's how it happened. I ended up finding you guys on Clubhouse, which is an awesome app. I've met some really just great people on Clubhouse, and it fit. You guys were talking about speaking things into existence, being intentional about your business, being intentional about your moves, and it just really fit what I was about. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just after I got a taste of what you guys were about, I was just like, I'm gonna just kick my feet up. I like this space. I'm gonna just kick my feet up and stick around for as long as I can stick around. Um, and then the support kind of came as it went. But I just loved what you guys were about. That's what it was. And then over time, we became friends and connected and other things. But yeah, that's what it was about. I stumbled into your space, um, and then as I got to know you guys, I was like, these are some powerhouses, man. They'll give us a run for our money. We gotta be careful. No, I'm messing. But that's what it was. I just love the space, and it's been what 2 years, maybe more, now that I've been in the space consistently. So it was a drunken stumble, but the stumble turned into me just sticking around because I just love what you guys are about.
I absolutely love that. I mean, listen, a lot of people have different stories about that drunken stumble. You're not the only one. Kind of like, we get it still today because we're still on Clubhouse. Oh my gosh, I haven't been here for a whole year and I just like saw you guys and I stumbled in here. Um, I want to hear more about your experience and when, because we know that you definitely, I love the fact you advocate and you support and you write books and yeah, that whole thing about the jet brokerage. I've been hearing that being manifested in our morning rooms, which you come to. And I still remember the first time of like the Superman affirmations. I'm like Superman affirmations, like what? David brought so much energy into our morning cup of inspiration room that we do for our WIN members every morning, weekday morning rather, at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, hosted by our elite WIN member, Nasa.
Shout out.
And that, Stacey is that. And I just want to make sure that we all get to know more about your experience under the WIN umbrella. So after you joined the WIN, what has it been like for you through this journey? Because I didn't know it's been that many years.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah.
Time flies. My time in the WIN community has been really awesome. I've outside of the speaking opportunity that you presented, um, I also had the opportunity to meet up with yet another powerhouse. Shout out to Dr. Neela, which was really cool. It was really impromptu. Um, but it is really, I gotta say, open doors. Because sometimes in the midst of business, in the midst of the journey, you can feel like you're knocking on certain doors and nobody's answering, right? Like, and so to be in a space where there's no ulterior motives, everybody is on the same footing, regardless of their own personal accomplishments, was really like awesome to me, right? So we kind of, I'm not going to say that we got rid of the titles, but it wasn't about the title. It was about the person behind the title. And that's one of the things that, from my observation, really stuck out to me about the WIN community is that even though you have people that have multiple businesses, even though you have people with multiple degrees, even though you have people that have traveled the world, even though you have people that have done amazing things in their own personal lives. Yes, Dr. Allegra. Yes, facts. But um, in the WIN community, it's about learning, it's about education, it's about that kind of stuff rather than focusing on how many individual accolades a person has. And to me, that's kind of what has given me permission to stick around because it's not about the title. It's about the person who's worked hard for their title. It's about other stuff. So that was one of my major takeaways is that it's pretty much a master class on leadership. That's kind of how I see it. It's not about the titles or anything like that. It's more of a master class on leadership from my observation.
I mean, that's pretty powerful. I love that you create insight into what you've experienced. There's so much more that I know that
Hmm.
um, seeing you show interest in. So there's like, you talk about being educated, and I think that's a huge part of growing, right? Like you can't
Yeah.
like go and you're not learning nothing. Um, you just but I loved how you came with the energy you came with. One of the things that I think I noticed about you, David, is that you're limitless. Like you don't have any limits to you where you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this now, I'm gonna do that now, and I'm gonna make sure it all makes sense for you guys, and you're constantly growing. I do want to
Hmm.
highlight the fact that we are leading into another area, and you said speaking, right? So that's one area
Yeah.
that we're going to learning and educating about. A lot of us are like there too. But I want to lean into an area too that I feel like you mentioned, and for the
Hmm.
WIN members who've been mentors before, they know what we're talking about. Shout out to Dr. Manuela because she's the one that be sparking the conversations. I heard that when you talked to me.
Yeah.
What do you look at being a part of in the future with WIN?
I can definitely see um, educating people on the Renaissance. People may not even know that they live in it, right? Because a lot of times instead of an entrepreneur, I very much just call myself a Renaissance man because a lot of the things that I'm doing go well together, right? So the books, I always call them the foundation for everything else. So if you read my books, it goes over what my future ventures are going to be, what I'm doing right now, what inspired me to do all this stuff. So I very much have leaned into this whole thing of being in the Renaissance. So if I was going to be part of the WIN community, it would be something along the lines of maybe you're walking in the Renaissance and you don't know it because you do different things at different points and you do them well, which is what a Renaissance man ultimately is. So I could see myself teaching a class on Renaissance and mentorship. And a lot of us call ourselves kings and queens, but what does it really mean to live in that title that you call yourself? Right? Because a lot of us, we give ourselves titles. I'm a king. I'm doing this. I'm a queen. I'm doing this. I'm doing that without always realizing the weight of be careful what you wish for. Be careful. So if I was going to teach a class, it would be on that, like the importance of living in your truth sometimes and not even realizing it because it just comes natural. So you're not counting your steps. It's like walking. You're not counting your steps. It's just something you do, especially when you get good at it. So that is something that I would speak on from a mentor and like a teacher perspective, because I do want to teach. I've been at my realm of business for a long time. Doesn't feel like it. So that would be something that I would want to do is teach something about like the Renaissance, or maybe you're walking in it and you don't know it yet.
That's powerful. I love that. Sorry I jumped y'all because there was like a little stink bug that jumped on my laptop. I do not like them things. Okay? They are um so here what I heard you say is like you really want to educate from where you've learned so far and being able to pour into other people, especially in community, right? Because when you, and this is one thing I love about community, we used to have
Yeah,
people do workshops, like Mrs. Ernest did that workshop. I don't know if y'all remember that 2 years ago. We was like,
yeah,
how do we do this with the federal government? And we were eating at her fingers, like whatever you give us, we'll take. And
yeah.
so when you take part of our WIN programs, right, like it gives you access, and this is where I'm leading to, because David, because you talked about mentorship, right? We have a mentorship program. And then,
Mhm.
as a member, we do have levels of membership, guys. We allow you to do educational workshops and things like that. Just go over to, our website. I promise you, you'll love what we've already done so far. Toria did a workshop, right? We've had past workshops talk about finances, how to increase your level of awareness when it comes to like
Mhm.
your health. These are things that we have intimate conversations about.
Yeah.
And when you want to become better at what you do, and we're gonna talk about the speaker side next, okay? So
Okay.
y'all listen. Listen, when you want to be better at what you do, you have to learn it first. It's not something you just like go head into and go, oh, I'm great. Like you literally have to take time to learn it. So
Yeah.
David, while you're learning through this process, you are going to be a speaker next year. I know that's a goal that you
Yeah.
want to get better at that. So let's talk about
Yeah.
what's the
Um,
journey looking like for you as a speaker so far.
so it's funny we're talking about speaking, right? Because I've always, for as long as I can remember, I've always gone for the gusto, right? In whatever I'm doing. Even I made an Instagram post about it. Like even one of the first things that I wanted to do, before I even had a book out, before I even had anything out, one of the goals that I had set was to speak at, um, if anybody's familiar with Madison Square Garden, it's a massive place. And that was my, everybody has a North Star, right? So that was my North Star before I even had a book out. Before I did anything, I was like, you know what? If I'm going to live life, I'm going to live life big, unapologetically big. And so it kind of it brought me to tears. It did, because now that I feel like that's one step closer to the ultimate goal, which is to speak at the Garden and have like a sold out show and all the stuff. Um, that's my long term goal. But to now potentially be a TEDx certified speaker is also something that I was looking at. So I've been doing my research. I've been nosy a little bit because I was doing my research before you even presented it. So I just look at it as something else that we're able to speak into existence. Because even in the space, right? Like some of us have shared that we wanted to speak on stages, right? Like that was one of our consistent affirmations. So even without realizing it, this is something else that we can check off our list of things that we've been able to like do. So I'm just glad to be here. I'm grateful. But yeah, like I was doing my research prior to you even presenting the opportunity. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to yet have another crown, another one, another one. So I'm excited.
No, not the heavy weight on your head. Um, the I love the fact that we're excited about it because I think honestly, you can do a lot of things
Hmm.
um, when you're excited, when you are purposeful with that excitement. It's like blasting off, right? Because you're like, oh
Yeah,
my god, I have purpose, and it really is in alignment with where I'm going. So I love that,
yeah,
and this is something that I think we don't have alignment in our core values, guys, but we need to have it in there
yeah.
because that's what happens with here in the wind. So thank you for sharing that. Before we get off of the live stream, I want you guys to follow David. I want you to tune into his books, okay? Because he has several that he's written, and he's promoted them all the time in our own community, and that's something that we want to honor. We want you guys to take time to honor yourselves in the rooms that you walk in, right? It's so many times when we shrink in rooms, but we don't do that here in the Win. And I think it's just something that it comes with a certain type of attitude, like we're never going to shrink because we weren't born to shrink.
Yeah.
And so the rooms that we create, the rooms that we walk into, whether it's community or by ourselves, we know that we show up to win.
Mhm.
So, David, I would love for you to give a call to action for people to know where they can, experience your brand in all the ways, and also give them some words of wisdom before we get off.
Yeah. So I actually just made a group. I have joined the people that have officially made groups. So I have, if you want to look it up, you can. It's Jet Renaissance Club. And in there, I'm going to be offering like exclusive, like first, what do they call it? Like first person access to my new books. Because I'm always dropping something every like 3 months or 6 months. So, and I know that it's hard to keep up sometimes. So I made a group. You can look it up at Jet Renaissance Club. If you want to look me up on Instagram, I do have an Instagram with the same name at Jet Renaissance Club, which is strictly for my private jet stuff, what I'm learning about that space, how I got involved, and all of that stuff. That's strictly for private jets. So if you go there, that's what you're going to find. You're not going to find events or books or nothing. It's just private jets because I had to separate the two. And then my last Instagram is blessed spades man underscore, and that's where you'll find. If I drop a book, that's where I put it. If I go to an event, that's where I put it. So that's my main page. And then if you want to find out more about the private jet stuff, Jet Renaissance Club is also where you can find me as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. And y'all, listen, thank you, Nisa, for sticking around. This is one of those
Oh,
safe
wait a second.
spaces.
I forgot words of wisdom. I forgot.
Yeah.
Um, so what have I learned thus far in the midst of the journey? Be relentlessly curious. Don't let people who have their spark has died out for whatever reason convince you that you're thinking too big. You'll never find people who are thinking big telling you to think small, but you'll always find people that are thinking small telling you that you're thinking too big. So put yourself around people who feel like the world is their oyster because it very much is. And there's my success doesn't impede yours. Yours doesn't impede mine. There's plenty of money, love, wealth, success traveling the world for everybody. So don't let people who whose spark has died for whatever reason. Maybe somebody said something to them that made them think that they should give up. Don't let them kill your spark and be relentlessly curious. Be childlike, not childish, because that is where the magic happens. It's not always in strategies. Sometimes it's in just saying, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. If it works out, then cool. But if not, then I learned a lesson. So keep your spark going. Whether you listen to music, whether you're around the right people, whatever you need to do to keep your spark going, don't fall into the category of people who had a spark, but it died because they listened to the wrong people.
Pretty powerful takeaway, guys. Listen, thank you again, David. Thank you, Nisa, for sticking around. Guys, this is a one of our introductions for our WIN members. David has been around for a few years, as you guys have heard, and so he gets it and he understands that he's aligned with that mission. And we also, our mission is to empower women entrepreneurs and the men who support them. David is one of the men who support our women in our community for a couple of years. I want you guys to support him back, okay? We'll see you on the next live stream. Thank you so much, David. We'll drop your links in the chat afterwards, so you guys make sure you go back to the replay and listen again. All right, have a great day.